let's look over the recipe. 3/4 cup orange juice concentrate, 1/2 cup of sugar, 1 cup of milk, 3/4 cup of cold water, has to be cold, 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla, and 3 cups of ice cubes. This is gonna make a lot of orange, Julius. Good luck with that on the backside. It says we're gonna combine the orange juice concentrate, the sugar, the salt, or the milk, the water, and the vanilla in a blender. We're gonna blend it for 5 seconds. We'll add ice cubes, and we'll blend it until no chunks remain, and we end up with a wonderful orange Julius. So, let's go ahead and get started. With Orange Julius has kind of a fun history. Orange Julius were created in about the 1920s. They didn't come into popularity until about 1970s, 1980s, and it's all named after a fellow who had an orange juice stand. His name was Julius, and he lived in California. And it just slowly became more and more popular. The blenders that we have here at school are pretty cool blenders. They are the strength and magnitude of like Jamba Juice or, oh my goodness, what's Roxbury? These are the types of blenders that they have, and they're pretty expensive. You have to be careful with them. If you were to break them, to replace them, as they're about $500. You'll be able to feel the power of them. We were lucky when our school got built. There were some connections that we had, and the people who own this company called BlendTech said, sure, we'd like to donate 7 blenders for you to have in your new school building. So we feel really fortunate. Your blender has a couple of parts. The engine, of course, down here, which you cannot put in water. The pitcher, which is made out of plastic. I don't know if you want to call them blades because they're not sharp enough to hurt you when you touch them, but they go at such a magnificent speed that they will take and demolish anything that's in its way. Then you have a lid with a part that comes out, which can come into play as you are taking and creating different types of things in your blender. This blender has an on and an off switch, and you're going to know if it's on or off by when you plug it in, if the panel lights up. My panel didn't, so I'm going to go ahead and on the back side of this blender, I'm going to flip that switch, and it's ready to go. It should have come up. My instructions tell me that I'm going to take and put all these different things into my blender, and I'm just going to start first off with 3/4 cup of orange juice concentrate. This orange juice concentrate is just something that I bought in the grocery store. I'm going to put it in a liquid measuring cup that is on the countertop on a flat surface, and then I'm going to go ahead and pour this in here till I am at the 3/4 cup line. I am going to squinch down. I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to squinch down, and I'm going to pour this until it's at 3/4 of a cup. I kind of melted this just a little touch ago, so it's a little bit thicker even than normal. 3/4 cup. Then I'm going to take this, and into the pitcher, I'm going to pour that orange juice concentrate, scrape it out because it's a little bit thick. The next thing I'm putting in here is the milk, and I need 1 cup of milk, and I'm going to go through the same process of taking and putting this on a flat surface. I'm going to squinch down to eye level, and I'm going to measure out 1 cup. You can use any type of milk you want. It can be skim, 1%, 2%, or whole, also called vitamin D. I'm going to pop that in here. Then I'm going to take, it says the next thing is 1/2 cup of sugar. Let's see, my sugar is over here. When I measure sugar, I'm going to use a dry measuring cup. I'm going to go ahead and scoop that all the way full with the straight edge. I'm going to take and karate chop that off. I'm going to pop the sugar in. The next thing that I'm going to be putting in here is the water. I need 3/4 cup of cold water. I can still use this measuring cup. It's okay. All those things are in my pitcher. I'm gonna let this run for 1/2 a stitch to make sure it's cold, because it was warm from when I was washing my hands. Well, that's a little hot, or a little high. And I need 3/4 cup, is that right? It's 3/4 or a 1/2 cup?
3/4.
3/4, there we go. I've got 3/4 cup, flat surface, eye level. I'm gonna put that in there. So I've got my orange juice concentrate, the sugar, the milk, the water. The only thing left is the vanilla. The vanilla comes in a small container. This is found in your kitchens. I'm gonna make sure I'm getting the 1/2 teaspoon. Teaspoon smaller than a tablespoon. When I measure this, I don't measure it here because if I accidentally get too much, vanilla is not very good. How many of you have tasted vanilla? Disgusting.
What about
It makes everything taste good in the right amounts. We'll take that, put the lid on because it's easy to knock it over. Place this on top with the lid on. I know some of you say, I know why. And then I'm just going to push the up button on this for a second. Okay, just blends it quick. Now your instructions tell you can put your ice cubes in right here. Even as it's blending, you can do that if you have a home blender. This blender here at school is like a super magnificent, I don't know, amazingly powerful blender. So I am actually just going to take and measure out 3 generous cups. There's 1. This is called a bulk measurement, where it's kind of up and over the top. There's 2, 3, and then with this blender, I'm going to take and put it on a smoothie setting. It's going to run through a cycle. You'll hear it. I'm looking for smoothie. There it is. And I'm going to push this, and it's just going to run it. When it's done. And then we're going to pull this out, and oh my goodness, lusciousness. Check out this orange Julius.